I'm Michelle Price, national political reporter for the Associated Press. New Hampshire is kind of a different campaign stop for these candidates after Iowa. It's a slightly different message. It's a more independent-minded state. It's a state where the voters are not as evangelical. They're not quite as religiously conservative. It's a state where some of the candidates don't mention issues like abortion restrictions as often. We've seen some of these candidates who have campaigned much harder in New Hampshire because they see that as more of an opportunity for their politics to succeed there. So Nikki Haley has campaigned particularly hard in New Hampshire, not as much as she had in Iowa. Donald Trump is campaigning the same way he has in every state where he does these large rallies. He also does these drop-in visits, sometimes unannounced, to diners and local businesses where he'll shake hands with people, maybe buy some food, give out hats, and just kind of, say hello to folks when he's not in these giant venues. So the candidates have been campaigning heavily in New Hampshire over 2023. That has dropped off a little bit as the campaign shifted to Iowa and they started spending all of their time in that state, but it is now moving in full focus to New Hampshire. New Hampshire has a tradition of town hall style meetings where voters expect to be able to ask questions of the candidates, and that's how these candidates have been campaigning there. Some of the candidates, not all of them, but some of them have been also running television ads, but they're very expensive there because you have to run your television ads from the Boston media market, which is a very expensive market. So if you're running a cheaper campaign, some of the easiest ways to get the vote out, get your message out, is to do radio ads or to just show up in person as much as possible, meet people in diners, and answer questions at these town hall formats. The weather can be a real challenge for people when they're considering whether they're going to go out to vote. Sometimes people might tend to stay home if it's really bad weather, but these are New Hampshire voters who are also used to harsh winters, and the expectation is that most of them will still probably turn out. So the winner of the New Hampshire primary, this could be a really decisive moment for a lot of these candidates. For former President Donald Trump, it could be a sign that he's really staved off these challengers and has reasserted his dominance in the party, that he could move on to these next coming contests in the other states. For a candidate like Nikki Haley, it could show that she might be a viable alternative. For any of these candidates, a win in New Hampshire over Donald Trump shows that he's not invincible, that there is enough support out there for somebody else, and that maybe there's a path for another nominee.